It's shocked. It's 100% fine.
The face will never fit.
No problem.
Good. That's what we're gonna find. Yes. Hi, Mike. Hi, Mike.
Mike,
How are you?
How are you?
Yeah. Remember what I told you. I don't care.
Captain Brewster, do you have a Wi-Fi here? Is there Wi-Fi? Should I walk over there? Should I walk over there?
I need a hammer.
No, so it's
That's what they used to be when you.
I don't have a hammer.
no, hold on a second. It's the CVCI one.
What's back there? Gavel?
Yeah.
That's
in this bookcase here.
And that bookcase?
Will you grab that for me? Thank you, sir.
The gavel.
Yeah, this is
Debbie, did you like?
Appreciate it.
You did that.
That's pretty basic. We should have a little classier than that. We should have like,
Right?
Hey, thank you.
lady.
I have stayed.
Wait, that's-
Anybody have some
that ain't
lady?
a gavel, is it?
Jeez.
What is going on here tonight?
That's awful.
It's
not the same.
I saw everyone. Stand for the pledge, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Councilmember Clotworthy.
Here.
Councilmember Darrow.
Yes.
Here. Councilmember Holler.
Here.
Councilmember McAdams.
Here.
Councilmember McConnell.
Here.
Councilmember Osham.
Here.
Mayor Granstrom.
Here.
This meeting is advertised in accordance with the Open Public Meetings Act, and complies with all the laws therein. All right, we have the meeting minutes for the work session held on March 5th of 2025 and a regular session held on March 17th of 2025. I need a motion to accept.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have the committee reports. I need a motion to accept all the committee reports.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Who's seconded?
I did. Colin.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. We have no correspondence for this meeting, Mayor. We're going to move along to the public portion. We need the individuals must state their usual names, their names and addresses for the record and respect the 5-minute time limit. And while addressing the governing body, we need a motion to open to the public. Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're now open to the public.
Anything from the public? Please stand, state your name. Yes, state your name.
Hi, Brittany Henry, 221 North Hannibal Ave. I'm just coming to ask, I believe you got a copy of the draft resolution for the quiet zone. I know, Colin, you were in talks with New Jersey Transit, and Chris and that we were talking to. Even though the project is just starting, We want to make sure that Brooklawn is incorporated in the planning of this train if it comes to fruition. So just to be proactive, would you consider adopting a quiet zone resolution at the next meeting?
So I'm in the process of, and we kind of back and forth on this,
Okay, yeah.
in the process of discussing with them. We actually have a meeting hopefully set up for the week of the 29th.
Okay, of May.
Yes.
All right, all right.
So I'm trying to wait to see where that meeting goes, because I don't want to step on, it's a careful political game as well as it is, what's best for the town. So, and I previously spoke that they guaranteed that they will pay for it. It is guaranteed for every town. It will be reimbursed. It will not be the municipalities who will pay for them. That was also contingent upon the federal government giving the backing of that because they're technically federal railroad. But that was the last communication. And then we had a meeting set up for this week. It got canceled and we'll be meeting again next week. So I don't want to jump on something prematurely before having those discussions with the proper people.
So that would be the end of May, you're gonna have that?
Yes.
Our next first, well, when is the?
Or the end of April?
End of April,
That's-
yeah.
End of April, you're gonna have
Next
the
week,
meeting,
yeah.
so at the next working session, you'll
Hopefully, yeah.
discuss like what happened and then maybe adopt, but you will consider it?
Yeah, I don't think anybody up here is opposed to it.
Okay,
So, yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
I just wanna-
We just want to run the right track.
Yeah, yeah, no, I just wanna make sure, but yes.
Yeah.
Excuse me, 1 minute. You did say that they're guaranteeing to pay for the quiet zone.
Yes, yes, and MJ Transit.
I
You
know.
have 7 crossings in Boston,
They're gonna do.
Food.
and I don't know how many beyond. So,
Westville, I'm working with Gloucester
Yeah.
City on the state doing the same thing there.
right,
Westville, I didn't get over there yet, but I will.
okay, there's,
I mean, we're gonna have to get all the I mean, all the towns are trying to do, if you have someone like me in your town, that's gonna be a question,
do.
but not every town
no, I
is really
understand.
aware. And, I did knock over 100 doors last summer to get the petition signed to get it on the ballot. So I did hear firsthand from the residents
Right.
that didn't even know it existed. So just getting the information, and a lot of people, obviously, we voted it down in Brooklawn.
You know our stand.
So we know that a lot of residents, I mean, yeah, we don't want this, but if it's coming, let's make sure we're included.
Yeah, and I'll update the work session. So
Yeah,
we'll
I
have
know,
some-
yeah, but I just want to make sure that as a citizen, I come and ask and get it on the record.
Very good.
And we're holding you accountable.
Appreciate it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Okay.
Good evening, Andrew Harris, 311 New Broadway. Relating, if we're not able to prevent this from coming through and we do get the GCL coming through town, we have New Broadway, the speed limit is 25 for a reason. I don't see a good reason why the train should be doing 55 through there.
I don't know if that's,
The website says that it's gonna be 55 miles an hour. I don't know how.
I don't think yeah, I don't know if that's correct. I don't know where you saw that.
The GCL
We
website.
do have, a meeting coming up and we can confirm that. Yeah, 55 is awful. I don't think it's that.
It's 55.
Yeah, it says so on the GCL website. I've spent time on there.
I mean, I have literature on it. It really didn't, mention. Brittany, you,
Yeah, I guess it depends too, because we're not getting a station here. A
Oh,
lot of other
we're
towns
not
have
getting-
stations,
hey,
we're gonna be
We're
applied.
25,
applied for.
25 too.
yeah, I guess that's changed.
Because we have the one official crossing. Like I'm down by the VFW. That's the line traffic. But it's honestly like, okay, up we got the guards, the crossing guards as well as the physical guards. Not as scary to me as down there where it's on control.
Yeah, I can definitely ask that in the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you, David. Anyone else? It has to be one more.
Well, we're all here for the train, not the train.
I don't think anyone really wants a train, but I've talked to a couple professionals about it, and they said, you're talking, it could possibly be 5 to 10 years out, if it were to pass. Because there's a lot of demolition, there's a lot of new construction before you can even put a train on it. And that was encouraging to me, because I probably won't be here.
5, 10 years, sure you will.
So anyway, cash will. but
So, Senator Norcross' office was out as well, and, we were very firm that we don't want it. How far that goes, I'm sure that helps a little bit, but, yeah, we were very firm that that is, we really stand against it, so. Kind of hopefully that higher level political influence helps.
What is Westville's position and?
You would just have to come up and speak in the public session, yeah.
I just want to know what Westville's. It's not that one.
There was a discussion about, go elevate, like everywhere else in the world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elevated compared to Mars, who cares?
Yeah.
Perfect, I'm gonna spend the money. So that was thrown out actually in a meeting with them, right, John?
Yeah,
And
and,
they went, oh, that's a good idea.
yeah,
So, yeah, I think that might be in this, elevated train.
No elevated train.
No, I'm just saying, opposed to coming through Brooklawn on the only track that we have. Anyone else? Okay,
Need a motion to close.
any motion, close? Bruce, second?
Second.
Stacy.
All in favor? Motion carries. All right, moving along to old business. We introduced ordinances on March 17th, 2025. This is the second reading, public hearing. We have ordinance number 9 of 2025, amending chapter 32, land use procedures in the code of the Borough of Brooklawn. This is a public hearing, so we need a motion to open to the public on this ordinance.
Motion.
Second.
We're now open to the public on this ordinance. None noted. We need a motion to close to the public.
Second.
All right, motion carried. Okay, now we need a motion to adopt.
Motion. Second.
Who's second?
Jeff.
Jeff Howard. There's one, number one. All right.
I gotta get used to your voice on this thing. All right, so we have Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McAdams,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ocean.
Yes.
Motion carries. All right, so we now move along to new business. All right, we have ordinance number 10 of 2025 prohibiting fishing from the bulkhead area along Pershing Road at the Brooklawn waterfront. Ordinance number 11, 2025, establishing rules and regulations for the Brooklawn pickleball court. Ordinance number 12, 2025, adding chapter 83A, filming to the code of the Borough of Brooklawn. Ordinance number 13 and 2025, amending chapter 141, vehicles and traffic in the code of the Borough of Brooklawn. Ordinance number 14 of 2025, adding chapter 108, minors, to the code of the Borough of Brooklawn, establishing curfew regulations to protect the health, safety, and welfare of minors in the community. This is the first reading, so I need a motion to introduce.
Motion. Second.
Questions on the motion? Roll call vote. Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Osham,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
All right, moving along to the budget. We have, first thing, part of the budget is a resolution number 90 of 2025, authorization to read the municipal budget by title only, because I don't want to read 92 pages.
Motion.
I'll second.
Any questions on the motion? All right. Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Osham,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
This is a public hearing for the municipal budget, so I need to open to the public on the municipal budget. I need a motion to open to public.
Motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
All right, we're now open to the general public on the budget. Anybody has any questions or comments on the budget?
I'm not sure if I'm in the right area of the question. Can I ask about something in the agenda down here?
That was another budget.
It's
She was
about a
another-
refund payment of almost $10,000.
We're not there yet.
No,
There you go.
I put it on. This is the one.
None noted, okay. We need a motion to close to the public.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We have all right, so we have, since we passed the motion to, have the public hearing on the budget, as we stated in the past thing, we had to make adjustments because we're not self-examined this year. So we have to now pass a second resolution, that's why it's 90A, 2025, authorization to amend the budget. The budget numbers stay the same, we were just changing line items. Is that correct, Tim?
Yeah, it was just, we were just allocating things within the cap, and outside the cap, and then they wanted us to break out something in the water utility, the debt service, so in total, it was fine. And no, there was no need to advertise, the state agreed that it was not significant enough to advertise.
Yeah, but all the money stays the same, so that's what
Yep.
the main focus of
Absolutely,
this
yeah.
one. But we have to, based when you change a line item, a certain percentage, you have to do an amendment to the budget, so. But we were low enough to not worry about having to re-advertise. So we just need a motion to accept the amendment.
Motion.
I'll second it.
Councilmember, Flatworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Osham,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
All right, now we can officially, adopt the municipal budget. So we have. All right, be it resolved by the council members of the Borough of Brooklawn, County of Camden, that the budget herein before set forth is hereby adopted and shall constitute the appropriation of the purposes stated and sums therein set forth as appropriation and the authorization of the amount of $2,463,976.97 for municipal purposes, and a total budget of $4,579,371.18. So I need a motion to adopt.
Motion.
I'll second it.
Any questions on the motion? Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Osham,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
Congratulations, the budget is adopted. All right, now we're moving right along to resolutions. Resolution, we have a consent agenda. The items listed below are considered routine by the Borough of Brooklawn and will be enacted by one motion. There will be no formal discussion of these items. If discussion is desired, this item will be removed from the consent agenda and will be considered separately. So we have resolution number 91 of 2025, authorization to execute renewal agreement with the Camden County, South Jersey, New Jersey Regional Employee Benefits Fund. Resolution number 92 of 2025, authorization to award the contract to purchasing of townwide cameras for the Borough Brooklawn Police Department. Resolution number 93 of 2025, authorization to approve change order number 1 and voucher number 1 for the work performed by Riverfront Recycling and Aggregate LLC for the stormwater pipe replacement, Brooklawn Fire Company through Falcon Diner lot to revise the contract from $272,775 to $315,407.30, an increase of $42,631.55. Resolution number 94, 2025, is authorization to refund overpayment of residents of Melda Powell for CCME Way pestle charges in the amount of $9,986.86. Resolution number 95, 2025, authorization to approve change order number 3, GAC filtration system. 95, we are going to strike from the record, as I did not receive this to get it on the agenda, so we'll strike that. It was preempted. They were supposed to give it to me today, I did not get it, so that's stricken from the record. So we're going to do resolutions number 91 through 94. So I need a motion to accept.
Motion. I'll second.
All right. And we have questions on the motion. So Colin, you said you wanted to know more about the refund of Melville Power.
Yeah, resolution 94.
Yes, so, there was a mistake made, 3 years ago at a tax sale where, it's easiest to explain it to where all the backup paperwork is in the PO, but, every year CCMUA gives us the things that gives us, or we collect money from the CCMUA. So every year from 2020, Melville Power was in bankruptcy. So we would get CCMUA money, but it was never canceled in our system, so it compounded. So say in 2020, it was $2,000. And then it was never inactivated by the tax collector. So when the thing came in 2021, it doubled it up. And then when it wasn't inactivated again, because she was still in bankruptcy in 2022, when she was out of bankruptcy, 2020, 2021, and all the interest, and 2022 doubled that up. So it all went into one payment by a lien holder. The lien holder paid like $13,000 for the lien, $13,000 or $14,000 for the lien. So when the title company came and paid off her house because she sold her house, they paid off the lien. CCMUA, we pay CCMUA the $15,000. CCMUA said I'm only owed $4 or $5 grand. They had to refund the rest of the money back to us. Since the money was paid by the lien holder, it had to be refunded to the taxpayer, because the taxpayer, it wasn't money that was ours. It wasn't anything else. It was strictly CCMUA money. It was just sitting in our surplus. I tracked it all the way back to 2024 when we received the money back from the CCMUA, but I didn't know where the money was. I actually have a note written in there. You'll see my notes of where did this money go. And of course, I left it for the auditors, and we just said leave it in surplus until somebody comes looking for it. And then finally, when she came in, I was able, okay, now that I was able to track it, what happened to that. So that's what it was.
CCMUA compounded thing?
Well, it's like, if she owed like $3,000 to CCMUA in 2020, which was years, because you've been in bankruptcy for years. That happened. So then in 2000, it never was inactivated in our account. You're supposed to inactivate it. After tax sale, you inactivate it. It was never inactivated, so it said active. So it became a special charge on our account. So the next year, CCMUA sent the same file, but only $352 more, which would have been a full year, $3,352. Like then the third year, she did the same thing, so it compounded 3 times. So she owed the money with interest. So the interest was like $3 grand off herself. So it was years of interest. So it was really like a huge fiasco, but she is entitled to the money. I've tracked it all the way through. So she wanted interest, I said no. But there was no way I could track the interest and know how much interest anything was in like the surplus or not. Because taxes, you have to give 5% interest if there's a refund involved, but this was special charges, not nothing that statewide needed. So that's what that was. Understand? Yep. Okay. And it came right out of surplus, doesn't hit any budget, so it just comes right from the surplus. So, anything else? Any other questions on the motion? All right, roll call vote. We have Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Osham,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
All right, we have, it's the end of consent agenda, so the next thing we have, resolution number 96 of 2025, authorizing a letter of support of the Borough of the Brooklawn Board of Education School Construction Project. This is a letter that's going to go to the Camden County Improvement Authority. They're looking for the $6 million bond. There is a way that the county will support our project to help with the school, and it will come out of our, it won't affect our debt, it'll be county debt. So they'll lease it to the county, the building to the county, and the county will lease it back to the town. It does not hit our bottom line of our debt, but it does come out of debt service aid. We also get debt service aid with it, which we'll be able to pay toward the debt itself, but it does not hit our debt, equalized valuation of the debt. So it's on county's debt. So just so you know, it kind of bypasses the rules of referendum. but it's a new law that's out there because a lot of schools don't have the money to fix up their buildings, because with their allocation, only like $4.5 million they could actually borrow from the taxpayers, and it's not enough the money to do it, so.
It was on 6, right?
They want $6,015,000 at this point for the project. So this is the letter of support that the mayor can sign and send to the CCIA. We'll give it to Dr. Rossetti, and he'll send it to the CCIA. If everybody supports, that's the first step. And then the county has said, Capelli's office and the CCIA run by Jim Lex, they have said that they're supporting this project moving forward. So if there's another town, I think Lindenwald is also doing this. That the school is like doing it, so they're supporting a couple towns trying to get this project done. So I have resolution number 96 of 2025, authorizing letter of support for Brooklawn Board of Education School Construction Project. Need a motion to accept?
I'll accept, I will second.
Who did it, Bruce? Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Ostrom,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
We have items of discussion. The item of discussion we have is, we've been in a couple meetings, renaming, Old Salem Road,
Just memorial.
Memorial, I said. Is there any questions on that?
Council would do that.
It's gonna be honorary, right?
Just honorary, it's just gonna be underneath the,
I don't
underneath the
feel
sign.
like I need to discuss it. I'm very fine with that.
You need a motion?
Yeah, you need a motion to actually, accept it to do that.
You're making a motion to do what?
Yeah, the motion to approve a memorialization, not a change of the names. So we haven't done it yet, so we need a motion.
Can we make that motion right now? I'll make that motion.
I would
Do
just
have to
like,
say it?
before we make a motion, I would just like moving forward, and I don't know what committee deals with this, but having like a criteria as to who or what would be honored as we move forward. Because I feel like in the past, it's been a lot of just random things that have been honored. Not that Westbrook could not fall into that category, but like, if, and I'm supporting it, but when we come down, like, what if Al from Gitanos goes, hey, listen, I want Browning Road to be Gitanos
There's a
Boulevard.
process.
And then how do we deny and say, hey, no to you, yes to another business in town, but we're denying you? Like, where does it end, or where does that's my question with it. And obviously I support the idea. You guys have been phenomenal for the community for a long time. But I would like some kind of criteria that we can go down and say, like, this is what would qualify to be, because I just don't know how we deny somebody else.
Because then you can't say yes or no for any reason.
Yeah, it just complicates it. It makes it difficult to do it. I think, obviously Westbrook is honorable to be honored, but I just don't know.
I think we just went through the process. I think you have the government, basically, and everyone has a vote. And if one has a problem and it doesn't pass, that's, as far as our town, now we're talking about a memorial type of situation, right? So if you want to change Bergen to, or let's say whatever, to another road, the post office is involved, there's so much involved in changing the name. But to just have a memorialized road like Gitanos, I think it's a great idea, by the way.
No, I'm not proposing it. I'm just saying.
So, but what I'm saying is, I think we'll come to, this is the process, right? I mean, that's how I see
Well, I'm
it.
gonna see if there's any formal criteria to do that, or like, we're not trying to invent the wheel, I'll go around and see if there's anything,
I thought that-
criteria that we could set up.
John, you did
For
talk about that
memorialization.
earlier, when he gave his presentation.
Mhm.
And he went through all the criteria and then,
History and all that stuff.
yeah, so, the town, I mean, you could put it out to the public, I don't know. But I think you, make that decision, and that's what we're doing tonight. So everyone has a vote, and I say we move on, and then we could look into it further if there's any criteria for it. Well, I say we just move on. Let's roll. But I appreciate what you're saying.
I just don't want it to become a politicized
See, like-
process, which in the past, I think we've gotten to that area, and I just think
to deny one, accept another one, it becomes difficult, like, hey, I don't support Al, but he does support Al, and then I think it becomes like a very difficult negative thing when it should be a positive thing. So I think like criteria kind of takes it in the hands of who are you friends with, who are your families with, and I guess takes that aspect out of it, which I would like to as much as possible. I don't know what that criteria is.
I mean, I'm thinking more along the lines of like, not necessarily donations, but like, how they help serve the community. Do you think they're worthy of like being that symbol for that street? Like, do you like think that they're, I mean, I get what you're saying, it's just trying to find that criteria.
Yeah, well, I don't know what it is.
Like
Yeah, it would
40
be a
years
little
of
tough.
it, 40 years of
Like,
somebody contributing to the community in some way,
Exactly.
like something like that. But I can
Yeah.
I'll look at some things and see what I can come up with, and we can just put a standard and put it in our policy.
Or even have
In the big cities might have
Or
stuff,
even-
Philadelphia, that stuff all the time, like they might have stuff.
or even have some of the residents sign that recommendation letter or something like that. Like from our residents.
It's like having-
Here, we believe this is a good representation of the street. We wholeheartedly agree, signed Ms. Katz or signed Ms. Brittany. Like,
Yeah.
just something important, so
I
that
do
makes
believe
sense
years
to me.
ago there was criteria. Wasn't a letter to be submitted?
Well, that was how we did it years ago. We had everybody nominate somebody.
Right.
You had to be nominated to get
Nominations,
it, but we put it
wasn't
out there for people. 'Cause we were gonna rename all the number streets originally. And then it just, I don't know why I advised them not to do that and put the memorials on there. But they're just numbers, not compared, like, I didn't want any of the name changes with like the ones that mean stuff, like Hakon, Hanovic, and Norg and all that stuff, so. But that was just what we did. But I don't know, but they had a nomination.
I thought so. I thought
It was
there
like
was
10 years
something.
ago,
It
last time we
wasn't
went through it. Like the first time, and then we did it memorialization, I think in 2019 or 18, I think we did the most. When we did the street names, like the Tippaloon on Second,
Yes.
all that stuff, yeah. So,
So,
Okay,
man,
yes, sure.
classification on this is honorary, not change, correct?
Correct.
Thank you, sir.
And I'm okay
So,
with that.
we're back to majority rules, basically.
okay, yeah, so you see a motion in a second, so to start, so.
I'll make that motion.
I'll second.
All right, Councilmember Clotworthy,
I abstain.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Osham,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
Thank you all.
We should do a
resolution. So,
We'll do a resolution at the next meeting, I just want to get the motion to establish it, yeah. So, I'm gonna make that note as you were saying that.
so remember that when the mayor retires, just saying.
Day one.
40 years of athletic association, 50 years of athletic.
And I,
You get there.
Martha should be strong section.
no, that was small discussed.
Yeah, you guys gotta come up with that.
No, I think we're gonna.
The next thing is bills and vouchers. We have a list of the bills, the motion to pay all the bills and vouchers as they're in that order.
Motion? Motion?
Second.
That was this giant flying.
Councilmember Clotworthy,
Yes.
Councilmember Darrow,
Yes.
Councilmember Holler,
Yes.
Councilmember McConnell,
Yes.
Councilmember Osham,
Yes.
Council President McAdams.
Yes.
All right, we have open to council right now.
Stacy, I never picked the first one. I'm picking-
You always pick me first, you can.
I know. Well, you speak very well.
I don't have too much. I did, I know last, I guess during the work session back in early April, we were talking about like, more opportunities for, regarding like the policing of like the playgrounds and whatnot. I know it's a constant thing that I know Ms. Cass brings up often. And, again, trying to think of more proactive ways to address that is a little bit difficult, especially like, societal wise and even like, I guess, their home environments and stuff like that makes things just a little bit difficult. So I did say that I was looking into some, evidence-based stuff that I brought up. I did find some articles on, not necessarily, I found articles on various things. I forgot to send them, but I did just send them today, for us to kind of like review and possibly talk over. So, I did find some evidence-based articles, and we'll see how that goes. Might not necessarily pertain to like the small town area, but hey, it's at least a start. So, we'll be powwowing about that eventually, maybe sometime this month. But other than that, nothing really significant. But again, I think policing, our guys do an amazing job as it is, and working together with the other departments and whatnot. But being proactive is kind of my mindset, probably one of the best ways to kind of go. It does take time for things to kind of like actually appear like it's working, but that's just something that kind of has to go take its course. So working on the proactive aspects, see how we can help modify with our current practices, and we'll see. So that's pretty much it.
Thanks, Stacey. Trish.
The egg hunt, such a great day. It was well attended. We had over 55 kids. And the important thing was everybody from council was there. Everybody helped, so I really appreciate it. It was a nice day.
Great job.
Yeah, it was good.
Yeah, it was a lot of work doing it. When we opened them boxes, oh my goodness.
Yeah, and a special thanks to Todd too, because he helps behind the scenes a whole lot. It's definitely a group effort, so thank you. It was a success.
Thank you. You put a lot of work into it. I know you did.
Our next big thing's 4th of July. I expect everybody from council to be there.
Oh,
That's our party, so save
And
the date
Mayor.
right now. It's happening,
Mayor, you have to come.
right?
On the 4th of July.
You're looking the verse.
Yeah.
Little apron on it.
And that's it. That's all I have.
Very good. Thank you.
Trish, the fireworks gonna put it on?
Oh, I'm glad that you said that. No, actually, fireworks are always the Saturday before 4th of July.
Okay.
And we usually get a DJ that night, so it might be a little jazzier to have a live band. We're gonna have a live band down there, but the celebrations committee, let's get together sooner rather than later so that we can start getting things together for that.
So parade on the 4th, but
For everything's gonna be,
We're
the
gonna have a
fireworks
little-
are, I'm not even sure what that Saturday is before.
We're gonna have a little shindig down at the.
Oh, yeah.
June 28th.
That's an old.
Of June 20th,
term.
okay, fireworks are June 28th. We'll have some food trucks and things like that, so not much planning goes into that. Just
Food trucks,
food trucks,
wine,
Ferris wheel?
no Ferris wheel. Not in the budget.
I said, how many do you do with it? I can get it, but I do with it.
That was a hit last year.
It really was.
The Ferris wheel.
Well, maybe we can have a carnival sometime, like maybe next year. We
Bruce
can
in
do
the
that.
dunk tank, where you can make up for the first one.
I mean, of course, it wouldn't be free to ride the Ferris wheel, but
The chief.
wouldn't that be a lot of fun?
He's gonna get, one's over there, right there.
Ooh, El Cappy's hand, throw him
I'll take it. Don't take it. I'll get it.
in.
But that's it, that's all I have, thank you.
Very good. So, Saturday before, right?
June 28th.
Shindig.
Yeah, woo,
28th, is it?
June 28th.
yeah,
Okay.
June 28th, big night.
Bruce, I wanna hear what you got going with the safety over there. I know there's a lot.
Matter of fact, I met with the guy yesterday concerning netting, and it looks like we finally have things set up to do netting along Browning Road. Finally, I'm just waiting for the estimate from him. I explained the last estimate was $72,000, which was totally outrageous. I don't think we went around that. But one of the things that they started this week for the safety out on the playground, we're installing a 12-foot high net along the ball field side and along Christiana Street side. Okay, someone was supposed to be there today to do the mark out.
Right.
Yeah, we went through all that yesterday. So that should be done within the next couple of weeks. Everything's, they got to basically create the fence, the poles. So they have to have latchet hooks on them. They have to have wire to hold it in there. So that's taking up two sides of the field. No one will get hit with a ball again out there. Along the first bit along the Browning Road side. We went through it, as a matter of fact, talked to the engineer today, to make sure we were far enough off and it's right where we had it. Said this is where we're gonna put it. So we're just waiting for the price back on that. So these are two issues that I've been here for 70 years. American Legion Baseball is 74 years old, I think, they're 72 years old, American Legion Baseball. So for 72 years, we've had the problem with cars getting hit out there, apartments getting hit. Colin, that was about a phone call from a lady telling me her husband got hit. Okay. We're doing everything we can, but I think the one thing that really needs people to understand, all this is being done with grant money that we've been able to get. Okay, it hasn't been any money spent, whether it's the concession, the building up there. So we managed to do all that at no cost. We still have some other projects we're working to get the bleachers on the first base side replaced also.
Big hit, by the way, the bleachers.
Oh, I know, but
90 people in the new bleachers.
Put it up next.
so I mean, it's so
Good job.
don't say we're spending a lot of money, but we're getting it all in place, all funding by the by, I guess, with Ryan with when he finds grants. Also, on this, let me find out where I had my note here. And then on the other side of town, the Field of Dreams is working out well. The field's occupied all the time. And there's a little brief discussion on what to do with the swim field. There's not a lot we can do with it right now. Okay, and I looked at it the other day, and I could easily lay out a T-ball field, but in reality, I know it was like when I was growing up as a teenager, we're gonna have bigger kids down there with a close fence, who can play home run derby, they're gonna be hitting people, sitting there watching pickleball. So we've got to come up with some avenue, explore things that we can do on the Cerrone field. Because that's back when I was a kid, was when Jimmy Cerrone died. So that will be worked out again. I've been blessed. Everything's happened so far. It hasn't cost the borough any money. So we've been pretty fortunate there. Now, on a couple other subjects, and I got an email from Norcross today. He has he's obtained some money where we can get grants. But Ryan, you seen this? It expires soon.
Expires on April 27th.
Yeah, okay,
It's a
so
one-page form that we're gonna put together, a bunch of community projects. It's not something, they put the request in for us, and last year they didn't get any money. We did it last year. But this year, hopefully we get some money, and then they allocate it to the people that put in the request.
Yeah,
So it's like it's not like a grant process, it's just like a form you gotta fill out, say what the community needs are, and just fill
Well,
it
I wanted
out.
to make sure that you had, okay, so you had that.
We had a meeting with.
We had a meeting with them to talk about
We
it.
had a meeting with them and.
It will be submitted.
And then there's a couple other, which anybody that's lived in Brooklyn for a long time realizes are major issues. I talked to Brewster over there, Officer Brewster, Captain Woodward. I have to call out there, whatever.
Okay.
I'm talking to you anyway this way. Okay, we're having a lot of problems. And I was just at the dinner, I was telling Skip, this lady got me in the pub about the jug handle. And I asked Brewster, they've had a lot of visibility out there with the cops, where people just don't stop. I was saying again the other day, they'll come from the right lane and make a left turn around the other people. And, I can't stress enough, I don't care if you have to hide a cop car, well, they see the cop, they don't do it again. Now hide the damn cop car, put officers down the street, radio, hey, look, this person did, we gotta deter it. And all of us have been here lifelong residents. We've all heard the same, it's Brooklyn residents. And then ticket the Brooklyn residents then. It's that simple. I mean, it's, if they want to ignore it, then, my son got hit there a couple of years ago. So I know how bad it is. So I talked about that. The other thing is, it was Colin's family was crossing the street recently. And we have one or two particular kids in this town with bicycles who are scary. I mean, they cut in front of you, they do wheeling in front of you, and I envision one of these falling off the bike, me running them over, and I want to come up with an ordinance. And I said, Haddonfield just passed one. The state of New Jersey has laws for bicyclists that if an officer sees something like the kid doing wheelies, you pull him over, we impound the bike.
For parents to get back, it's $200 fine. You want the bike back, it's gonna cost you $200. I guess you'll amend that real fast, but it's something that we have got to do, because it's really become an epidemic in Brooklyn with these kids' bikes.
We'll let Brian speak on that.
Okay, but that is something that, again, Collins across the street, this kid comes in front of me, does wheelies, I don't know what's gonna happen, when you're driving in, I don't wanna be held responsible, especially when I'm the safety guy for FedEx. I wanna run over somebody,
Right.
so, but anyway, that's all I have to say, which was a lot, but.
Very good. No, I do have a question about that, cross, buttons. that
Yeah,
flash.
yeah.
No one stops. No one, almost got hit yesterday
Yeah, on Broadway,
myself.
on Broadway, right
Push
there.
the button, they light up, right? Caution. So what can we do about that? Can we put brighter lights or what is, or, I mean, I think we need a light there, and we have a light up the street. And all the kids do know now because walking over from school, they go to the crosswalk, the light.
Just
That light turns green.
and not to interject on the, just talking about some of these other municipalities from Public Works. The bigger townships have the actual overhang lights where they get they're a lot more receptive to stop because you're concentrating on the flow of traffic there. And these lights, like I originally thought when we were getting these, they were gonna be overhangs or not. I don't know if that had to do with tractor trailer routes or what determined whether you got them or not. But the municipalities and townships that have the overhang lights is just.
That's a major, everybody that goes,
Yeah, no, I
everybody goes
understand.
down to Timber, the waterfront down there, across there. They don't walk down. Chuck does it, I've noticed that.
But I don't think it has anything to do with it not being bright enough. I mean,
No,
they're just
I mean,
they're off to the
they're-
side and
They're not
people aren't seeing them.
stoplights, they're
Yeah, yeah.
So should they, you tell me, should they be red lights? Whoa, if somebody pushes that button, that means stop. They fly through. So I don't know. I'm just saying,
You want me to comment on the mayor?
we change, yes, absolutely. Yeah.
So looking at the stats last month, 220 car stops. The guys are out there, they're being proactive. It's just a matter of hearing these concerns and navigating them exactly where we need them, right? 220 is nothing to blink an eye at.
Oh, no,
Guys are
I-
out there, they're addressing the traffic issues. Certainly, people are passing buses. I've seen buses now with cameras on them, so you automatically issue a
Yeah.
ticket. The motoring public is just not paying attention. That's the bottom line. So I'll take these into consideration. We can have a chat offline. We certainly use our resources to address pedestrians over 130. The left turns out of the jug handle. When I was on patrol, I would see it every day. It's my bread and butter, right? It's about hearing these issues and just assigning people in the right spots. And if it's a pedestrian on New Broadway, we can certainly address that, sir.
Yeah, I don't know if it should be red light, red lighting, whatever. It's definitely a crosswalk, a very good, big one. And then we have the light down the street. So, like I said, I came by yesterday and I hit that button thinking people are gonna, you're on, so that's what I would like to know. Can we have something like that, red lighting, or should they stop, or that can't happen unless we have a light? What can we do about that particular spot?
You're talking about the spot on New Broadway?
Yes,
Let me take a look at the lighting situation.
Yeah.
If it can be red, and that'll capture the.
it might
attention.
help, yeah, I'm saying, I don't know.
I'll look into it.
All right, very good. Bruce, you had enough, okay, and, John?
So I've got a couple. One, Mike, great job with your team with Public Works. All the benches are in the park now. They look great. The memorial benches, there's 4. There's a sign made for one of the vendors that did the bunny bench. You just came in, so they'll have that put up too. You're right on target on timing on that. Now it's we're starting to fill up like the parents and that, so that's great. We had the Norcross office visit in here. We didn't bewilder them with a million things. We focused on the big stuff. So we did the flooding, kind of what are we going to do about it, and then funding for the water as well as the GCL stuff. Good news on the water funding that is in, that will be distributed to us from Camden County to the state. Ryan has more of the information there. So that was a nice win to pay for all the upgrades to the water system, as well as years and years of the carbon and the material. Also the flooding, I think they owe us some next steps as far as what can we do to start get them in I'm in the right direction. I wouldn't say I was friendly towards the office. It was very much like, you know, you know, tell us what we need to give you to keep this moving, and then, give us someone to hold accountable, because obviously this is beyond Brooklawn, right? So hopefully we hear a little bit more about that, but it is on their radar. Skip, you were, bold about that too, so thank you, Mayor. So those are the three big things that we touched on with their office. Lastly, the community center, Trish, Jeff, and I are working on this. We have like, current process, new process, and then we have a little workflow. I don't know if we have the screens up, so I won't share it. And the rollout phase. So really it's, first thing is rekey the doors, working like with Mike, Ryan, Public Works on that. The big keys, we have here can still be copied. So let's look at the possibility of key cards. Like I know for an office I used to work for, you can see who scanned in and out, which is nice. So the cards were, were assigned to so many people. When we rekey, this is 300 years worth of keys being used that are now erased, and then we go down to zero, which is nice. So the associated fees, what fees do we have outside food, like electrical permits, all that kind of stuff. We should have that back in the borough soon. Who manages the current workflow right now? Current contracting, what we have, is it good? What is the hold harmless? And then the insurance looks like, and then Trish got all the current usage of the people that we have now. So these are people that we kind of work with first. Next would be the key deposit. So kind of how are we going to do that, whether it's key or card, kind of at all times. Can't rekey to be safe. If they lose, obviously, like we keep the money. New process on the deposits. How are they going to do it? Refundable, as well as like roll the key in there. New process on the reservations. Ideally, we'd like to do something like open table. If you guys know that. So basically, you see your times and days that you're able to reserve. You do it all online and have like very minimal human touch points with this. And then new process for pricing. So you would have, in my opinion, like three groups, right? We were saying if you get a Brooklawn W-2, resident, non-resident. So start to think about those in your head. We got all the pricing from a friend in Ocean City, New Jersey, how they charge in season versus out of season, things like that. We're also doing the research with the firehouse. We'll ask for some pricing there once we get there, as well as the VFW and things like that. So we like the idea of maybe every person that gets a Brooklawn W-2 maybe has like one free one per year, non-transferable. Something, then they just pay cleaning fees, all the fees that kind of go into making it happen, just a small fee. Then there would be a resident fee, which would be maybe half the price of a non-resident fee, so some things there. And then the rollout phase would be the website, the marketing, communications, and then kind of beta the new, your process here. So hopefully by the end of the week, we have those first 4 or 5 things. Trish already got one, thank you. So probably get those first, kind of 4 things there, and then we start moving through it. One thing I would say is, if you could share the website, people with me, Ryan, kind of, whoever does that, maybe this is like an add-on, something that we could have in there for like the kind of open table type of thing. But that's a little bit down the line. But it looks good so far, and thank you guys for your help.
Just out of curiosity, how many are using it currently?
6. Yeah.
It's occupied almost every day of the week,
Okay.
so we're gonna have to.
One of the problems is that doors have been left open, several, thank God for Harry.
Yeah.
He checks them every morning, every day, basically.
I
That-
actually meant to go over
So
there
like a
next
key
month.
That's-
fob or.
The fob sounds great,
I like
or
the
like
key
the key
fob.
thing. I know they last forever, like it's RFID, probably a little bit expensive to put in there, but there's only one door, maybe it's not the worst. And I like the reporting, right? So if you use my key to get in there, you say, John, were you there yesterday? No. It's like, who has your key? And then you can shut it down remotely.
Right, so he can do that. Now, we have the system, it all goes here, right?
Yeah, you won't be able to set it, like, it'll be a separate system. You could use the same key fob if we keep the Perry system, but we would have to have our own panel over there.
So our fobs record when we come and go here?
Yeah, I don't know.
Oh, yeah, everybody fob, when you fob in, it'll tell you who walked in that door.
Gotcha. That's
That's
important.
good.
Yeah, that's big.
we need
So-
that information.
And if you can share that vendor with me too, because that, you know, that's
I
something
think
that,
we're gonna go with somebody else, because I don't know, we've been trying to get the one over here, the door fixed. Have you gotten back to it yet?
Yes, sir. Is this
You
our
had gotten
cyber,
back to it? Okay, good.
is this our cyber guy? Is that-
No, it's, Drew.
Oh, Campbell, he's not,
Yeah. Well, no, he sometimes doesn't call back fast enough. Like, you can get McGee pretty much enough information from McGee in like a day.
oh, JC McGee is unbelievable. If they're a state vendor, it's them.
Yeah, well, they're vendors, so like, that's why I recommend that if you wanna get it done faster, that's who I would send over.
They are the
But as
ones.
long as you can get the same type of system that uses Curry, because you wanna use the same key fob, so if the police
I
have a
agree.
fob here,
Yep.
you don't want them to use a different fob there, it'd just be crazy.
You nailed it. So we'll make that very smooth and.
so Campbell doesn't do that for us with the fob.
They do,
Oh.
they did the whole building here, I'm just saying if you want it done, it depends on how timing.
Let's give Campbell an opportunity to tighten up.
All right.
And if not, we're gonna move on.
Well, he's coming here to do it out there, so hopefully we can get him moving for you.
I was gonna bring something up about the point of service there, you know, the area you're gonna put for, so they can pay their bills and, you know, set up a computer out there.
Yeah.
Is that gonna
That's
happen?
happened, yes.
Okay.
The computers is on the
Just so-
floor, the floor in there is there for that.
Just so everybody knows, we're gonna have an opportunity to come in to the borough, go to the, online or whatever it is, pay your bill, get information. A number of things. I don't know the whole list, but I think
It'll be
it's a
very-
great idea.
very
You know,
small.
instead of knocking on the
Yeah.
window, you know. for this to-
Is there a charge for using that machine now?
No, because, it's because, a lot of people are like, you know, if somebody comes in and pays to put bill online, we would always take the bill and help them do it online right there, but we're the ones clicking that button, saying, are you okay with this charge?
Right.
By doing that, we're not that
per
person.
charge.
So, a lot of towns got hit with like fraud, saying that they didn't pay the bill, so,
Right.
and to combat that, if they wanna pay online here, we have a thing right here, we can have right here, we have a printer, you can pay online and look at all our events and stuff, we're gonna put like a kiosk up there, maybe then we'll add even the thing community center rental, like, oh, you wanna rent a community center?
Yeah.
You can do it right there or something like that, so we're working on that right now.
It's a great idea.
How about, like, for instance, could we leave the lobby open for off hours? Like if somebody came in for, I just.
You can, I mean, we have before, it's just, we just don't know, we don't have all the bathroom slots. Like the one, the both bathrooms are open, one's the boy bathroom, one's.
Well, I know
And
myself.
the police have visual of that hallway at all times. like,
Right, so there, it's on camera.
That's something you would have to respect.
Like, Me, I'm slow to the draw sometimes and I gotta run and.
And you gotta secure that computer now. You
Yeah.
just walk out on the
Yeah.
computer.
We'll end up buying it back.
For every
Brooklawn
one you
swap
got.
shop.
For every
Yeah,
dollar
we
you
would've
got.
lost the lawnmower attached to it.
Yeah.
That was all I had.
No, that's very good, very good. We're
Thank you.
moving on,
Yep.
moving ahead. Colin.
All right, I just want to thank Trish, obviously, for Easter. It was awesome. I think the
Yeah.
kids had a great time. I was very well organized. They did a fabulous job. Public Works did a great job cleaning up and kind of getting it ready. I know Jeff as well was running around picking things up, day before and that day, so I appreciate that. I want to thank Ryan for the budget. Obviously, I know it's no small task, especially given the circumstances we're facing, so I appreciate, obviously, all your work there. The pickleball court is coming together. It should be finished like structurally wise by Wednesday. We should be finished. Then they'll start the painting aspect. They'll start the net, all that kind of stuff, putting it together. Electrician will be down there tomorrow, getting going on that. If anybody's down there to see it, not everybody likes pickleball, but I think it looks great. I think it's pretty incredible. We're the only second one in the country, the only one on the East Coast, and I've been fielding calls like crazy from different towns coming down the CRs because they want to purchase the similar kind of thing. So I think we were like kind of at the forefront of that, which is pretty cool. So I'm really excited about like what that means. I think it will be an opportunity to create a lot of community. I think we do a lot of different tournaments and things like that, even with some of the older people within town. I think we can get them out there to play a lot. So I just envision it to be a wonderful thing for everybody, cast included. I think it'll be something that's really great for everybody. So I'm really excited about it. It does look phenomenal down there. It doesn't take away any sight lines. If you've been inside, yeah, but when you go in and when it's finished, it does like echo. So like one of our major concerns and the reason we went with the glass was the sound, because people do, if you look online, people complain about hearing that ball back and forth, and we only have so much community area to put things, so, there's only so much green space in this town, so that had to be the location for it, but we wanted concern about the residents around us, so that's why we went with that particular model. And it does seem that it's gonna be really effective at that, so we're excited about that. Once we get closer, I'll give an update, and, when we open it and things like that, we are excited about that.
And the most important thing,
By grant money, yeah,
Grant.
that's the best thing ever. Yeah, so there's grant money again. So that's all great stuff. Let me see, we did have.
thank you, right?
Yeah.
Finds our grants.
We have had some incidents at the waterfront. Obviously, we always have incidents at the waterfront, but obviously, you guys are getting down there. We appreciate, obviously, the help. One thing that's come up recently, and I had a couple of residents, you can't walk anywhere being on council anymore because you just get killed. I get like 2 blocks and you just get destroyed. But I got about 2 blocks and residents coming out. We have people that are parking, if you're going down from Gazebo around the railing bend there. And the street's not big enough, so when you park, you're actually parking in the street. So the other night, I actually had to call because we had people parked around the bend, right the guardrail there, and it's literally, you're parked in the street. So then you have 2 cars both coming at each other, trying to get through there. It just makes it a really dangerous situation, not to mention no sidewalks like we always don't have. And it just creates a really dangerous thing. So one of your officers responded, he was able to kind of, and I said, don't need to take anybody, but just get them to move, right? So get them out of there, get them to move. People were courteous and kind of moving. And I don't think people even realize they just see a curb. I can park there, that doesn't say no parking, so it might be something streets committee looks at.
No parking on the actual, guardrail?
Yeah.
All along the guardrail?
Yeah, so we're gonna need from probably Gazebo to end of guardrail. I'm like trying not to put up 1,000 signs either, so I'm trying like, could you do like from sign to sign? I know you do. Could we do like from sign to sign? Do you think that would be enough? Or people are like, I didn't see that sign 40 feet away, so I didn't realize that. I'm just trying not to put up 1,000 signs.
500 signs.
Yeah.
I mean, the yellow. The thing is, it's like, if you do like a sign to sign thing, when somebody goes in the middle or something.
That's what I mean, like, or they say, hey, you should see it, do you have that? I'm
We
just
can
trying not
pull
to.
one every, we can pull one every 25 feet, something like that. I don't want to hear that you didn't see the sign, it's ridiculous.
And I don't
Well, if you
hear,
do paint
we
it
put the
yellow.
sign up and now we have people saying, hey,
Yeah, no
we put
I
the
say
sign
that
up.
to Philly all the time, they still write me tickets.
Mike, we put that sign up, then we have people saying, you're taking away our sight lines in terms of residents, it becomes another issue. So just something we can talk about, maybe we can sit down and the streets can go through and you guys can go through. But it's definitely an issue, I think it'll be progressively. And I think right now with the pickleball space is closed due to construction, I think that's not helping. So that might alleviate that when they free up a little bit. Down there, so, and we do have that new area with the no parking in. If you could just inform the officers, I think we just need consistency in terms of when we pass. I've witnessed many officers, somebody sitting right in the middle of that no parking, cop car comes by, gone, not a word. And it's like, there has to be consistency because there's not consistency. And then I had an officer yesterday came by, guy was sitting there, officer came by, got out of his car, hey bud, can't be there, you know what I mean? Guy moved his car, no problem. 10 minutes later, car comes sitting down there, cop goes by, different cop, and not a word said to him. So I think it just needs to be consistent. I'm not, you guys have bigger fish to fry than somebody in the no parking, but when you do come by, if you just say like, we gotta say something, we have to, because if we don't enforce it, then they're just gonna abuse it. It's gonna be back to 0 again, especially when the summer comes. That's where those 2 trees are, that they park underneath the shade and do whatever they gotta do down there. And we obviously wanna try to avoid that. So if it's possible, just be consistent with that. All right, Ryan, have we heard about, we were trying to get John Kellmeyer to write the grants.
Yeah,
Do we
I've
have an
talked to
update on
John
that?
a couple times. I'm working on trying to get him access. I'll get into that in a minute with, you have to use a program called Sage. There's like different stages. There's DCA stage or DOT stage and a PMRS system, which is totally separate. You don't need to touch. But the DCA stage is where a lot of the local recreational big grants come from, not federal, that I can get them access to see the grants coming in, like the bike path grants, like the safe routes to schools, all those type of grants that he can see that we can probably apply for. So I'm in the middle of doing something for Solvay. So when I do that part, because it's part of Sage, it's another part of Sage, I'm gonna add him at the same time, so I'll get him my Solvay stuff in a minute, but, yeah, okay, so, yeah, but he's been aware. But I gotta give him some access, and he wants a copy of a couple grants that I've already written, which I have already, to give him sent, so.
All right, 'cause I know, obviously, we are getting grants, and I appreciate your work on it, but I know we don't have
No,
to
but we
get.
can give it to him, he said he would help us out, and he was gonna charge, it's nothing if we don't get it, and then if there's a fee to it, if we do get it, so. So he's gonna put out some stuff, that's the thing, I'll tell him which ones that we're looking at, that we need, but you'll put a request in which ones we, so it's a nice deal for him to do, so.
When we do get him, is it just possible to like sit down with them, just sort of like, what are we envisioning as a council? We can
Yeah.
sit down with him so he knows what we kind of cherry pick and
Do what he wants to do, yeah.
All right, I appreciate it. I think that's it for me.
Did you, or I'm not sure if it was you, like the possible bathrooms down by, you know, kind of pickleball, things like that. Was there movement on that?
There is.
I know we're talking porta potties possibly.
Yeah, so I went down there with our engineering department and gave them some ideas of what would be the best location to kind of keep it out of the limelight of the public and just close to everything to where it wouldn't be a nuisance. I know that they are working on a sketch, if you will, for that to be done. I will follow up with them tomorrow morning and send out the email to council.
Thank you. And I know we passed in one resolution, we do a bunch of new cameras, they're gonna go down there. They're like phenomenal. So that's gonna be.
He has like,
I was telling me.
Tell him about some of the cameras that are gonna be down there.
Because they show people, right?
5 years ago, we got
Yeah,
these cameras.
lasers.
in the state of the art. A lot of lights, sirens on them. One is, activated by motion, which will, AI will capture, move people on foot or vehicles. And, there's additional software out there for ALPRs and stuff in the future, but, technology is advancing and, we're excited to get those cameras down there on the pavilion, on the pickleball court and, on the blue park.
Perfect, yeah. Thanks for your effort on that. I mean, it's a huge.
And doesn't it have a strobe on it or something like that, a link to say that.
Yeah, so after hours, if anybody's near there, it'll hit a strobe light, it'll activate a siren.
See if there's a seizure, if they're being bad.
Thank you on that.
Last but not least, new council person.
3 quick things. My first event was the egg hunt when I was in council. So thank you for your teaching, your expertise. Never had a jelly bean count go so well in my life.
Yeah, got that.
Exactly. Kids had a ball. The feedback was tremendous. Everyone was happy, in a good mood. And like I said, as you get to know me, I'm about teamwork. It was great to see everybody involved. From meeting the crowds, to talk to people, from the tickets to the prizes, the cookies, it just went very, very well. Great job for everybody. It really was. Piggyback on the pickleball. I'm a pickleball enthusiast. I play every weekend, and the buzz is out there that Brooklawn has one of the better ones out there. The Easter Bunny actually gave me a new paddle this year. And we're trying it out this weekend. Of course, I go to 2 different townships close to us with their pickleball courts. Don't even come close to what we're going to have. So, we talk about it a lot, but the buzz of it is out there, and I think it's great for the community and the township of Brooklawn. I really do. If anybody wants to team up with me or doubles, please see me afterwards.
Sorry, I'm Collins, Steve.
Third thing is, third thing is, I know some council members of mine, so I talked about benches that are by the memorial, and one of them is going to be like the Navy, Army, like the military bench. Cheshire Cent, Congresswoman, I'm still in there. Respect, I'm just there. I think that's a great idea to put it out there. I think, with that memorial there and serving and seeing the 4 or 5, massive. I think that's a great idea. So, that's it. Thank you.
Mike, you got anything to say?
Morale is good in the PD. Collaborating with the school, we were able to safely land a helicopter, nobody here involved. Alice Costello did a great job with the career fair. Some of our officers spoke in the library on career day. Helicopter landed, helicopter went. It was a great event.
Yeah.
On a side note about the juveniles, we're excited about this ordinance. Accountability is the key. We do the best we can with the station adjustment program. Juvenile Justice Commission with charges. But with this ordinance, it'll help hold the parents accountable for their juveniles, especially with all the nice parks and playgrounds we have. Spring break is happening right now. We're excited for the kids to get back into school. It's right around the corner, so we're doing the best we can. We appreciate your support. Please, if you see something, say something. Nope, we're not above any call, right? Everybody says you're too busy, but the bottom line is it starts at the juvenile level and it progresses. So no calls, beneath us, and that's all I have, sir.
I know years ago they had, you're gonna be mad at me for this, but, years ago they had a bike patrol down there, policemen on. Okay, I'll let you speak.
So one other thing, so with the transition happening, we have thousands of pieces of evidence, and we're trying to do 100% evidence inventory. As Chief Fellows steps out the door, we have we have records and things of nature off-site. So we just put hands on that bike that I haven't seen in 10 years.
Oh.
And we're looking to get it to the bike shop and get somebody on that bike this summer.
That's nice. That would be nice, especially down there around the parks and something like that. It'd be perfect.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mike.
Yeah, I got a few things. Sprinklers are up and running in all the parks. There are still a few repairs we have to make, but incidental. The paint on the recycling tank at our water plant was finished up Friday. I believe all equipment is out of there, done, completed job, went perfectly.
Yeah.
Benches have been finished in the Alex Costello Park. There's still 3 more spots. Trish and I spoke about that. That those could be allocated for a later date if we decide to do another round of benches. There's 3 additional benches that are going to Memorial Park. We're waiting for the pads to be replaced, or placed rather, along with a couple other ancillary concrete spots that have to be replaced too. Councilwoman McConnell and I met up on site for placement. We also spoke about the 9/11 Memorial benches project that we wanted to start. There's 2 benches that are located into the entrance of the 9/11 Memorial. We want to take them out and place something there. Is somebody, I believe, Councilman Howard stated in regards to 9/11 and then our armed forces as well. I am working with our current vendor on getting some ideas together to present to council to make sure that they're comfortable with the hard work.
Like, did we get the product that we can get because they're drawing all over them?
Yes, we got that product, and we also have another product on hand that was able to work. Unfortunately, you can't get it made 95% removal. You can't get it all. So I mean, besides replacing the slats, which if it's something council, if it appeases council, if they want to do, we can certainly do that. But for the most part, it does get rid of it all. What do you call it? The grants equipment's up and running. Schedules have been set for that. And the play field, the playgrounds, out of the hours, we need to discuss the placement of the hours. I know you and I work together with that.
You'll get this week.
The signs that Councilman Darrow had ordered for the times the ball fields were to be closed during that sign's been put up. The playground sign's been put up. A majority of the signs down at the river line has been put up, minus some of the pickleball court. We're waiting for the rules and placement and all that stuff to come, so we didn't put them up.
What about that camera one? Is that in there?
Yeah.
Down the road front?
Anything that didn't have to do with the pickleball one, that's up.
Okay.
So
I think we're missing one, but I'll talk to you.
okay. It's possible. There are a lot of signs.
Yeah.
So, which is fine. Last but not least, we did get put on safe drinking water watch. We are at a non-detect for all PFA, PFOS, PFNA. So we'll just keep monitoring that. We're still gonna have another round, 2 more rounds of letters to go out to the public. The next one's like May 26th. So the public will receive another letter. Basically, we're not in violation, so the verbiage will be a little bit different this time. So, and then another round from there. After that, no more letters.
Confirm, we're at 0.
Yes, we are in a non-detect, yes. Last, I never really done this before, but as a resident, Mike Ostrom, 215 4th Street, Brooklawn, New Jersey. In regards to these kids riding wheelies on their bicycles, I was out on my motorcycle today. The kid Chase, I believe his name, he's from the apartment complex. It's only a matter of time before this kid's gonna get splattered. He did ride in front of me on my motorcycle. I don't mind if it's in my vehicle, you know, I can make an evasive maneuver if I have to. But on my motorcycle, it wasn't fun to try to dodge this kid, especially not wearing a helmet. I'm not saying the police are not doing their job. They can't be anywhere all the time, but it's unsafe, especially in Browning Road. You want to do it on a number street or something like that, I can get it. We're all being kids, but not up and down Browning Road, Wawa parking lot, Route 130. It's not good. I don't want to see the kid become good.
I'll tell you, I've never seen anything like it. I mean, I've been around.
And it's been brazen, like my wife and I have been in our car that's got this kid, he will challenge me.
Well,
Same kid.
Yeah, it's one person.
Yeah,
It's one
there's
person.
only one or two kids that I still.
So I know you guys questioned a couple of the kids and Brad and actually parents were involved, right?
Yeah, a couple of juvenile complaints
So
signs.
they know who they are, is what I'm saying. But it's unbelievable. They take any bike. And man, they get down,
It's.
they get down Broadway.
That's why you find to address it, where we can impound the bikes in. That's, I think we don't have any choice.
Well, you know, it's gonna happen, what'll happen is, and I hope not, but a kid's gonna get splattered like you
Yeah,
said.
and we're responsible.
And, you know, because we had a girl still, nursing, you know, that got hit right there at the towers with that traffic. She's still getting picked up every day. You know, the girl was hit. I don't know her name. I should know her name. Kayla.
She goes to Yale.
Pardon me?
She goes to Yale School.
Yeah, Yale School, and they pick her up every morning, and she goes to school, and she's in a wheelchair still. And,
They had her out walking the other day in the wheelchair.
yeah, I saw that. And, there was a big outreach. Thank everybody in town that helped her, helped that town. I think we should do something for her, as a town. We're kind of talking about that, thinking about.
I thought
Well,
we did.
if we're saying that, we did, I did a GoFundMe, we did raise significant money, but if we are that, we just have public people here and some people in construction. The family is struggling, with obviously getting her up and down to the bathroom, on the
Right.
steps.
Yeah.
So we were trying to start an initiative to get them a bathroom built
I say we do
downstairs.
whatever we gotta do.
That
to
would
get
give them
that
access. They wanted to move mom emotional ties to Route 130, seeing it every day. We can all understand that. And then the aspect of trying to get her up and downstairs has proven really difficult for her. So we were like trying to get our ideas together on creating a downstairs bathroom for them, to give them access.
I talked to Mario Bernardo today, and he's involved in, Camden County with, disabilities and things like that. Mario Bernardo. I'm gonna put, somehow we gotta contact him and see if we can do something for that.
If you can give me that information, that'd be
Yeah,
great. Yeah.
absolutely.
Share
Anything else?
No, all good, all good.
I have a couple things I want Ryan's gonna speak. I did mention, there's gonna be some news for the seniors, that we're gonna do for the seniors. This is my, one of my missions, being a senior, I wanna do some things for the seniors. And we have some, information on that. That's about it. I do wanna say that tank that I've been complaining about every meeting that looked like it was gonna rust.
It wasn't gonna rush through. So, just to make everybody aware that.
Looks absolutely
it's
beautiful.
Not gonna rush
I know,
through
they
at all. No.
sandblasted it. I'm just saying, because I did mention it, that it was gonna explode any day. It didn't, and it looks beautiful.
Alarmist.
So, that's about it. The bike patrol I wanted to touch on. We have to do something about porta potties if we're not gonna put a bathroom down there. Now, there is a shovel-ready plan to put a bathroom at the end of Timber Boulevard for that whole facility. A bathroom. Concept plan, I should say, shovel-ready though. So we're thinking about that, and hopefully with Kelmeyer, we can get some grant money or whoever. But with the weather coming, and I know when we have, any kind of functions in there, we get porta potties, because people have to go. There's been several times, Colin's been confronted a couple times with people going to the bathroom in the Little League field, not worrying about anybody around. So moving ahead, what kind of ideas I'd like to hear about, putting, at least, and we'll lock them at night, I guess.
We are working on that.
I'm just saying, for now, we gotta have, something's gotta go down.
Yeah, there should be I should be able to have a plan.
Oh, you guys look at an
Already
area,
taken
right?
care of, yeah, just, gonna get some sketches drawn up and we'll
We
set it
gotta,
up.
we gotta move on that, because it's,
I'll-
I'll tell you, it's 80-degree days. boy.
Whether there's anything ready or not, I'll have an answer to all council tomorrow.
Okay, perfect. Yep, I just want to keep that moving, and, that's all I have. Ryan, you got the.
Thank you, Mayor. Reminder, the end of the month, the annual financial disclosure statements are due. Make sure you get them filled out. Everybody got the email. If you don't have a problem, Todd or me.
I'm done.
Mine's done.
So,
No, mine's done.
Back to shop.
So mine.
Mine's done.
What? Yeah.
Mine's done.
Yours done?
Yeah.
Wow, I'm shocked at both of you.
When you retire, you get kind of do it.
Yeah,
No,
I
we
guess.
gotta get somebody to help.
Jeff will get together to get that filled out, and that's, Todd already sent you the information.
Mine's done. Mine's done.
Okay. No problem.
But I'll let you look it over.
Stacy,
Yes, sir.
Mine's not done.
Okay.
Mine is-
But just a reminder, you have until the 30th to get it done, because it does show up on the audit. If you don't do it, it shows up that say what council or elected officials did not do it. And Ken will be over there putting your name in there.
Writing us up.
So, we talked to, Mike and I, talked to Solvay, not Solvay, but the NJDEP, about the Solvay grant, or not grant, but the money that they're funding out there. The process, what we have to do, they won't tell us what that is. Mike's gathering some information, to put into the site, but we're signing up to a thing called, DEP stage, NJDEP stage, which is another stage on top of the other stages I was talking about earlier. But they used to be able to talk, now they're all separate, so we gotta set it up, which is the process, you gotta get qualified, you gotta go ID me, all the stuff that you have to go through to get this process started, which we already started it. Mike's getting some information that needs to be provided for them, how much certain things cost, chemicals and stuff like that. Once we get everything into the system, we're gonna have another meeting in the next month or two with them and know they have a calculation that tells them what kind of money we're getting. It's gonna be significant. We asked a couple questions. One of the main questions I asked was, if we do sell the system, do we have to pay the person the money for the thing? And it said that is not, as a no. It's basically saying, like, it's a lawsuit, you won, you keep the money regardless of what you do. So it should not have any bearing if you're gonna sell the water system, if that's something that you've looked into doing down the road. We have a meeting coming up to talk about that with somebody. It's not gonna happen this year because the deadline will be too quickly before it get on the referendum anyway. But we're in the process of looking into all options. Not something we have to do, it's just all options. But we should know in the next couple months what the number should be. And then we can actually go back at them, say why that number is not correct and we want more. We can do that, but there's a significant amount of money for only 7 towns.
How
So
much total? Percent?
I heard it's $50 million for the 7.
Split
So-
7 ways.
Well, I don't know, but some of them are impacted even more. So it doesn't matter, it's like, so but there's other money that they don't, that for the cleanup for other, there's a 35-mile radius around it. So there's money there that they can tack on and use to put towards this. I don't know.
Just so it ain't for square footage or something.
No, I don't know, by based on, it's
I
gonna
mean,
be
you know
based
what I
on, it's gonna be based on the
It's-
actual
it's-
calculation of what it's gonna cost us.
It's
over
impact
30 years.
based.
Right.
It's impact based.
They have like a calculation for 30 years and they're gonna give you all the money up front. I mean, I don't wanna settle for anything less than, like you said, I was nuts to go too low, but 6 million, but that's where I would be at.
Which is where we
Yeah,
put ourselves in the beginning.
yeah,
where
so I think that's where we
4.5%.
wanna be at around, like, I think that's and more than fair, but I don't wanna put that out there, but we want more than most we can get, but, so whatever we look into, the engineer thinks we should go ahead.
Right,
with
you
that.
want to explain what that is? It's a settlement, some.
Yeah, so the Solvay, was sued by the NJDEP, which is a plant over by West Deptford, Paulsbury area. And they, were putting the PFNA into the water, dumping it into the Delaware and dumping it right on their grounds, and it seeps into our aquifer, and now it goes, and now everywhere it goes to different towns that when we drill the wells down, we're pulling that water out of the ground, and that's what's causing our PFNA issues. More of the surrounding communities around that, and we're one of the 7 that are impacted directly the most by this location. Doesn't matter if you're upstream, downstream, it does not matter when it comes to the aquifer. So, so that's what we're trying to finish, and they attribute the most that chemicals are in that ground. They were sued for millions, hundreds of millions of dollars, and I think that there's a settlement out there. You can read about it. It's all Solvay settlement. You can read that online. But 50 of it was just for the 7 towns. There's more money out there. It's just, I believe 50 million was allocated for just 7 towns.
And what we've accomplished here, because of that, what they've done and we're charged with, we put this whole new plan in, we took a lot of heat from the public saying, well, you poison us and things like that, which we didn't do. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that there was a settlement that was not our fault, and there's going to be some kind of benefit from it.
And then also there's, they have different things for buildings. Like the building we're putting over the structure can be reimbursable, but we can put it in that information because we can prove that we need it because of weather-related restrictions. But it's not for like building a building that for another part of the water plant, it won't be included. But as it comes to do with any treatment of water, it will be coming to thing if we have a reclamation tank or recharging the beds, all that stuff is falls under the guidelines of this, but not certain things don't. But we're working on the numbers and we'll come up with something for you guys.
And again, people that don't know, we're talking about encasing what we put up there. Yeah, originally, when we looked into it, there was never a problem with weather. The last couple of years, Gloucester had freezing. It was actually at a point where they didn't have to insulate the entire facility. So when it moved ahead, Mike, you went ahead and suggested it, say, while we're building this water treatment plant that we just put up, let's enclose it so we don't have down the road freezing problems, which they admitted that system would have no problem, and in fact, they do. So that's what he's talking about enclosing that with a shed type building, and we may get some compensation for that too. That's all.
And the last thing is the mayor touched on a little bit that he's looking to do things for the seniors and social services. So one of the things that we want to roll out is a raffle for the community. Basically, it will be, we wanted to celebrate the 100 years last year, but to kind of like start this thing, it will be 100 prizes for the 100 year basically, and the proceeds will be used for senior services. So basically, we get a huge pot of money that we can use for some events at the community center, get them educated on some social services that we have out there, because it's a new way to for the PTRs are done differently now. A lot of seniors don't know that, explaining it to them. Also, give them other services out there, some of them like, and have a place where they can reach out to us and have somebody that's going to be the head of the Department of Aging. We haven't had that in years here. So it's something to we can put money towards that. Now, the raffle is going to be 100 prizes. And the idea is it's got to be run by nonprofit. So I'm working with trying to get the American Legion to back the project, and they will donate the money back to the social services based on, and they keep the money on the account, and they will use the money that would do that. Now, if we do the 100 prizes, about $20,000 to $25,000 is going to cost for all these prizes, because they're not going to be small prizes and all that stuff. So the top prize would be a cruise paid for 2, including the drink package, out of Bayonne. There will be iPads, AirPods, Apple Mac. There's a lot of different prizes out there that we
How many total? How many prizes?
What's that? 100 prizes, 100 totals. And what we want to do is, we haven't set pricing yet. I'm looking at allowing it to be $20 to $25 a ticket. We're only going to sell 2,000 tickets. So if we sold all 2,000 tickets, that will generate $50,000. You spend $25,000 on all the prizes, but you get $25,000 to the social services that senior services that we can we'll go right to the senior services. And it's a good thing that get it more fun. And the thing, like, we'll open it only to residents in Brooklawn first for a couple months, and then open it up to anybody to try to get that 2,000 number. So we want to try to make as much money as possible. I think it's $25 a ticket, maybe 2 for 40, something like that, to try to get the people interested in it. You know, we buy tickets here, trying to figure out how to way to do that. But we'll get a list of prizes together, a form to fill out, to sign up for it, and then that's why we're gonna try to see if we can raise some money for it. What we'll do is, starting in, I would say the end of July, August, we'll try to have an event where we'll release 10, and the grand prize will be done, the 100th prize would be the grand prize, will be done at the fall festival.
So Ryan, real quick, so someone buys a ticket for 25 and gets the grand prize, what's that worth? The grand
Prize worth about $5,200.
Wow.
So a couple tickets, you know, you get 3-4 tickets.
So can a resident buy like $100 worth of tickets and sell
Absolutely.
them somebody
Yes,
else?
indeed.
Council be exempt from winning prizes?
No, council would not be exempt from any prizes if you're paying to it, you can do it. The only person I would exempt is,
Me?
it's myself and the mayor for the grand prize.
Yeah, okay.
Like me and him could be the ones that should not win the grand prize.
No, I agree, absolutely.
So, but I think any council person, anybody, you buy those tickets, and we're gonna do it in front of everybody, so it's not like it's a thing. I think anybody should be allowed to win it.
So, for you math majors out there, you know, the odds is not that big. People buy lottery tickets and, you know, the law of averages of winning.
1 in 200. 1 in 200.
No, but
gonna win.
I'm saying, that's not a big deal. Maybe.
And every prize is a minimum of $100. So if you win one of those prizes, you get $100. It'd be $100 gift card to ShopRite or Target or Amazon. And then you have all the little individual prizes. I've seen, like the Raiders, like the electric scooter on there. I've seen all kinds of different things on there. So there's a lot of different prizes on there. Now, everybody might not want to win.
I gotta say, yeah, it could be, you know, 4-wheel drive tires, stuff like that. You know, I gotta say, Ryan, this was Ryan's store, and I fell for it immediately. This is all his idea, so I want the credit.
Great, Ryan.
So I think it'd be a great thing for the community, and bring the community, like I said, we'll open the community first, have some of the people, like, you know, council people take a couple to try to sell to people they know in their community, and try to get it out there. But like I said, we'll open it up for like a month or so, just for the community to try to stop selling. So we only have 2,000 residents, so I don't know if we're gonna sell 2,000, but
You know,
we can sell.
Ryan, it's a cruise, right? It's probably a 7-day, I think.
That was a 7-day cruise.
7-day cruise with a drink package, so that crew and back.
We're only two people.
But what I'm saying, maybe, could we do some kind of a package to fly somebody?
No, that's gotta be them.
It sounds good.
They gotta go out of Bayonne. That's a cruise thing.
No, what I mean is, could it be another way to travel, like in other words,
Oh,
a
we
trip
can
to
do it.
Disney?
Well, we can do it anyway. I mean, you can do vouchers. You can do like a $5,000 voucher to a trip.
I think,
Like, you can do anything. You can do anything.
Seniors
you want.
really want to go to Disney World though?
no.
Oh,
maybe-
heck
maybe-
no, the person buying the ticket.
Yeah.
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 Just thinking more seniors
I mean,
related.
Well, I can
No, the
price
money's
it
gonna
out.
go.
I can price it out.
The money's going to the seniors.
I can price it out and I won't buy it because you don't know what their schedule's like. But you block out dates and then you say, okay, and then that money could be utilized just for this.
We're talking on YouTube. I think we could sell them to 100, 200.
We need to sell 2,000 tickets.
2,000 tickets, and we'll sell them in 2 weeks.
I don't know about that, but we can sell it.
I
I think, I know everybody's talking here, but if you ever look at the ones that are out there for the cheer competitions and like, for like, baseball, they have like hundreds of people, they get 10 kids to buy these tickets for 100 people. And like, you look at the odds of it, there's three prizes, there's 500, 1,000, 500, and 250.
And nobody
And they
wins.
raised like $30,000, like it's nothing.
And no one ever wins those.
Yeah, no one wins. I never heard of one person winning. You just like,
The Two Tree Stoppers did one, they raised like 60 grand in no time.
yeah.
Amazing.
So, I think we can do this, and we can cut the prices down by saying that we're gonna help the seniors and the senior services. Amber, is very excited about it. She's gonna help out with getting some prizes. We're not doing National Night Out this year, so it's something that she can help us out with. So, just wanna give everybody an idea
Great
what it
idea.
is, and,
Great idea.
we're working on that. It'll get unveiled in the next meeting, by Memorial Day will be unveiled. And hopefully, maybe if we get enough tickets, we'll do the first 10 prizes at the 4th of July.
Yeah.
You know, the bottom
Now we're
talking and stuff like that, so.
That's what I'm talking
Yeah, good. So, great.
Very great idea.
Right?
Anything else?
And that is it for me, Mayor. Everything's running smoothly, in the department, the budget's done, so we have an executive session now.
Yeah, we have.
Fortunately.
I just want to state, me as mayor, I'm very happy with what we have as, our leadership and our people here.
I agree.
And our, very good, and I mean that. Everybody's really working hard, thinking, think cap one, you know? And, so I'm all about delegating. And Ryan, if you want to come in.
Thank you.
All right.
Motion for executive. Yeah, we need a motion for, resolution number 97, executive session for personnel, personnel issues. It should take about 15, 20 minutes. No action will be taken, after this, after the, executive session. Motion.
Second.
Aye.
All in favor, aye.
Can we have those 5 minutes?
Yeah.
I need 5 minutes. I need more than 5
Thank you
minutes.
for everybody online. Have a great day.
Let's see, right? Keep us in mind.
Can you?